Yo, Guest Shayla in this thing. What's happening? Why don't you talk to the people? Tell them your name, all that real quick.
Yeah, so you are so goofy. So my name is Shayla.Nicole. I go by TheShayla.Nicole on Instagram, and I'm in Birmingham, Alabama.
Oh, now, for those who don't know, Shayla, you do podcasts, right? You want to shout out your podcast real quick?
Yeah, so I do a podcast. My podcast is called Shiro Convo, and we basically interview female business owners who took their passion and turned it into profits, and women who were just out here side hustling and decided to do the damn thing.
Exactly. Boss moves. Y'all already know who I am. I'm your host, Jay, a.k.a. Aiko. Y'all can follow me on the gram at o.s_Aiko, A-E-K-O. I'm glad to have you on here. I'm sorry I got to you a little bit late. I've been recording crazy. You know how it is.
Absolutely, but thank you for having me. I'm excited to do it.
Thank you for coming on. So let's get straight to it, right? So I sent you a couple of things that I wanted to discuss. Yeah, wanted to discuss. People mess up. Forget y'all. So one of the first things that came to my mind is, because you talked a little bit about your podcast, and I know you were like a freaking hustler. So one of the things that always comes to my mind is women always ask, or asked, how do you feel about a guy who maybe doesn't make as much money as you? How do you feel about dating a guy who doesn't get as paid as much as you do? What do you feel about being the breadwinner in a relationship?
I feel like you trying to have me on some B. Simone shit tonight.
No, you're not putting out books that ain't yours. You good. You good.
She got so much backlash for saying that she didn't want to date a man that wasn't an entrepreneur. And actually, and a lot of people may be mad at me about this, but I felt where she was coming from. So
okay.
It's weird. Like, I felt where she was coming from, but in regards to your question for me, I don't see a problem with dating someone who makes a lesser income than you do. And I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
I think for me, it's more so about his drive and his determination, because I feel like we always have the opportunity to make more money, so to speak. So as long as he's just determined and matches my hustle. Like, if I'm getting up every day and getting to it, if he's getting up every day and he's going and he's mopping floors, but he's still a provider for the family and he's doing something, like, I don't see a problem with that. And then, just kind of thinking back on some of my past relationships, I probably have been the more successful, the more of the breadwinner in some of my earlier relationships. So, I don't see a problem with it.
Where do you think that mindset comes from, though? Because I feel like, it's a whole different era now. Things are changing, and I feel like social media has definitely changed the game. For both sides, for sure. It's hard for men to be men because women have the accessibility and options now. Therefore, I feel like women feel that they have more power in these relationships. And we'll be honest, a lot of women are like dominating a lot of these guys out here. So I'm just curious where you think that mentality comes from. I've spoken to somebody about it, but I'm curious from your perspective, where do you think it starts?
I think you made a very valid point. I think that because now we have so many outside influences, such as social media and television, and right now there's so much focus on social media and even our musical influences and people of that nature. So, when you've got chicks out here like the city girls that's making songs like Jobs and saying, like, bitch, I don't work jobs, I am a job, it's like OnlyFans is your career, Yeah. So I just think that, like you said, we have so many outside influences now, and then everything is so, in a sense, like, accessible. Even if you don't live in the same city as people, like, you're able to link up with people, you're able to, simply slide in a DM, and then next thing you know, like, y'all in a situationship, and you getting flew out. Like, I know that's not proper English, but like, you're getting flown out to go kick it or whatever.
Nah, kick it. You know what you're getting flew out for. You know what you're going out there for.
Yeah, you know what you're going for. But yeah, I just think that the mindset comes from social media and influences.
Do you think it's a detriment to people's happiness at this point? Because I don't feel like people are really happy because of social media. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I absolutely do. And so even um you know, for me, I'm the type of person where I don't follow. So this is my rule. I do not follow celebrities that don't follow me. So like, if it's not
Right.
like, I promise you, if it's a verified account that's following me or something, like I know of that person or we've met, and usually they follow me first, and then like I return the favor type of thing.
Right.
Um, because I just don't want to be taking in all of that and letting that be an influence in my life. I like to follow, and I think that especially during the quarantine and the pandemic, I think that that has really helped me a lot
Yeah.
because I've only been able to tap into things that like make me happy. So I'm able to see my own friends, my own family. I'm not seeing a timeline full of Bentleys and huge houses and G Wagons and things that I don't have,
Right.
you know? So I just like to kind of keep it normal on my in my digital world.
I feel that. So you said something that made me think about this, right? And
Hmm.
we talking about kind of the detriment of like social media on relationships and people's happiness now, and it just made me think. Are you into astrology at all?
I'm not. I wish I was.
Damn
Like
it,
I really
Shayla.
wanted. So like I'm a Pisces, and I really want to know like if my behavior has a lot to do with my sign and when I'm born and stuff. So are you into astrology?
Not like some guys. I mean, it's really interesting. I've noticed that a lot of the characteristics. I'm a Leo, so I've noticed, and Jada is as well. I've
Hmm.
noticed that no bullshit. Like 95% of the stuff that they say about Leos is it's accurate as hell. Like so for that reason, I kind of follow it. I'm not into like moons and all that other type stuff. The reason I had asked is because I feel like a lot of women won't date people because of that astrology stuff, and I feel like that's a pretty fucking crazy reason to be like, I'm not gonna deal with you. You're Pisces. You're a Sag. Like that's crazy as hell.
Hmm.
What do you feel about that?
I do think that's crazy as hell. I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, I'm not going to date so and so because he's a Virgo. Because I'll be honest with you, because I'm not into astrology, if you walk up to me and you say, I'm a Sagittarius, like I'm usually not going to know when the hell your birthday is.
Right.
Or if you say my birthday is in October, I'm not going to know, that you're a Taurus or a Leo. Like I
Exactly.
don't know that shit. And so,
I
but
don't know that
but
shit.
there are people out there that really do that, and I think also that comes from maybe they've had a past relationship where they've dated someone that was that sign and it didn't go well. And so because of that, they're kind of like, okay, yeah, I'm definitely not fucking with these, Taurus niggas no more. Or
Yeah.
that type of thing. Yeah.
Have you had a guy that's been more into it than you have, and it's kind of has that affected your relationship at all?
I haven't. I had a friend that was really into it. And, like, funny story, this nigga would call me and be like, um, I bet you you were born in 1986 on like a sunny day because you act like somebody that was born on a sunny day. I'm like, what the hell? And he would almost kind of like call me and be on some fortune teller type, let me read your mind type of shit. And he's like, like I would say something. I'm like, I had a rough day at work today.
Yeah.
It's because you were Pisces, and it was a full moon last night, so I knew you was gonna have a bad day today when you got up this morning. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna call you back.
Okay, so I'm at the same level you are. I will never go that hard with it. I think it makes for good conversation though. You can have a little bit of fun with it. So that to that extent is how hard I go with following it, which is not hard
Right.
at all. I literally basically just know about like a Leo or an Aries who have pretty much the same traits and shit like that. But I don't know nothing about no Cancer, no Gemini's for real. Like I don't look into it like that. I mean, if I date you and
Mm,
you're a fucking psycho, you're just a fucking psycho. I don't. It has nothing to do when the moon rose and stuff like that. Like that has nothing to do with it. Oh, it was eclipse that
right.
night you were born. No, you're fucking nuts.
You just nuts, and that's just the way it is.
Exactly. And so it makes me go into the next part of the conversation where it's like, okay, people will use almost like when you were born and all that other type crap for like credit. Like, oh, I dated these people. They were born in this month. So they have a pretty good reputation with me among the dating atmosphere, right? How do you
Hmm.
feel about dating a person who has debt? You know what I mean? Because that makes me think of, oh, okay, if I have a pretty consistent, streamlined thing of like dating people in this month, oh, then they have good relationship situations with me. How do you feel about someone whose credit, like, is their name and their name is pretty shitty? Like, you hear crazy stories about them. How do you feel about that?
Oh, okay. Yeah, see. All right. So, okay. So I think, so just to give you a little background, before I became a digital content curator, I spent 10 years working for the United States Bankruptcy Trustee. So
Mm-hmm.
starting and that's a long time. And if you're trying to calculate my age, I'm not that old. I started my job very young. Okay. So, because I know people like, damn, 10 years? Yeah, okay. So, from the age, well, honestly, from maybe like 17 or 18 or however old you are when you first start to establish credit, I think it may be like 18 or
18.
so to get your own credit
Yeah.
card. Yeah. So, I've always been somebody that tried to like pay attention to credit and stuff, and being in the field that I was in, because I saw the damage that could be caused when you were irresponsible with your money and didn't know how to manage your money, and you weren't smart about how you handled debt and things of that nature.
Right.
It just made me be way more conscious about the decisions that I was making financially, and being wise as far as like having a pension and a 401k and all that type of stuff.
Mm.
So, saying all that to say, um, me personally, I would not want to date someone who had bad credit or was in debt. But then again, there are, what you like to call good and bad types of debt. Like if you just
I
out
was
here
just about to
wilding,
say.
yeah, you just out here wilding, you got a Macy's card with a whole bunch of shit on it or whatever, like, that's not what's up. But, let's say, for example, I'm dating a nigga and he got a lot of student loan debt because he in medical school. Like, that's different, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't want to date somebody who had bad credit or was in debt from irresponsible decisions. But at the same time, though, I wouldn't let that be something that deters me from dating them. I would just try to get with them and show them the way.
Okay, so say you talking to a dude, right? When do you even bring that conversation up? I'm going somewhere with this. You'll see.
Oh, at dinner probably.
Wait, but
Hey,
which
like
dinner though? Like
the
first,
first damn dinner.
you lying?
No, I need to know before I even start to really like you for real, for real. Like, hey, yeah. So how was your day today? And what's your credit score? Like, I want to know because that's really going to determine like. And the reason I say it determines is because I need to know, like, okay, is this going to be somebody that I can help? Like, do this person want to do better, or are
Mm.
they just frivolous and they just don't know?
Financial literacy, right? And so that made me. Yes, that's funny. So hold on. So I'm curious because now before I ask you this question, right? Do you feel like you have game? Because the way you just said that was kind of clean, but it was just like funny. So I have this theory: women do not have game when approaching a man. So real quick before we get into the financial literacy part a little bit deeper, do you feel
Mhm.
that you have a cold mouthpiece? Do you feel like you have game?
I do. I,
Oh,
I
tell me
do.
why.
Yeah, I think I do.
Why do you feel that is?
I just think mainly because I'm a very like conversational person. Like,
Okay.
and so I'm just one of those people where like I can walk in a room and just kind of make a new friend. Like I even go through the drive-through and make friends. I got a chicken pot pie from KFC the past 2 days, and there's a lady, and like she and I have become friends. And like when I went there today, she remembered me. So I'm thrilled. She's like, "Hey, girl." I'm like, "Hey," but going back to what you were asking, like I feel like I have a mouthpiece on me. Like I've been in situations where I've either approached a dude first, or I said enough to get his wheels spinning, and then I let him take over. But I definitely, and then I'm funny. Like I'm funny as hell, you
Okay.
know. like people love people that's funny and just fun to
It's
be around, and I
funny.
feel like that's how I am.
And that's a good way to think about it. I will agree with that. So I was
Yeah.
asking all of this because there's a channel that I watch, and in particular, so it's two different ones, right? There's two guys named Abba and Preach, and they were speaking before, kind of on like how dating has changed in this era and stuff like that, and how hard it is for men to approach women and how things have changed. And then part of it was I saw a post on Facebook, right, in which the guy was proposed to by his girl. How do you feel about that shit?
That shit is not happening where I'm at. Okay. I don't even know if you want me to elaborate. I don't know if I need to say more, but I can just tell you,
Talk your shit.
I'm not doing that.
Why is that the breaking point? Because that clearly triggered you.
It did trigger me. I just because I feel that I'm still old school. You know what I'm saying? I feel like this. I feel like, and don't y'all come in my comments or anything like that, but I feel like women are the prize. I feel like we should be, soft and, well, not soft, don't be no damn punk. I'm just saying be feminine. You know, I'm for real. Like, you have to be careful with your words, because people will be like, yeah, she said be soft. No, don't be no damn fool. Don't be no punk. But you need to be soft. You need to have soft skin and smell good, and
What kind of creepy shit is that shit? You gotta have soft skin. Like,
you need soft skin. Like, you need to put some damn lotion on. Get you some cocoa butter. Get you some oils. But I feel like women are the prize, and I feel like it's okay to make the first move. But once you make that first move, then you need to kind of take a step back and let your man take it from there. And I feel another reason I wouldn't propose is because I feel like dudes know within the first, at a minimum, within the first year, like,
when they want to marry you?
if they want to marry you. I really do.
Hell no. Okay, go.
Yes. I feel like they know within. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to propose within the first year, but I feel like within the first, really when they meet you almost, they know what their intent with you is. Like,
Okay,
they know what
you
their
right.
intentions are.
I know.
And then I think after a year of you all dating seriously, he knows whether or not he wants to marry you.
Now, I will give you that. Here's why I asked that question as well. 2020, it's a whole different era. And me and my guy Todd were talking about this. And it's just a change of traditions, because not all traditions are good traditions. I feel that men are the prize. I feel
Shit.
now, but hold up though, because you said women. Here's why. I'm not gonna say all men. I'm gonna say a man on his purpose, a man that's on his grind, just like you were talking about before. If you out here just bumming it around, you playing your games, beating off all day, you ain't about shit. I'm not gonna give you that. What I'm talking about is a man who prioritizes himself, is on his shit, is on his way up. And you might not be there. You might not get there till you're 40. But I feel like if you are focused on yourself and you add something of value to that woman's life, then yes, you should be treated as a prize. However, if a woman also has value, then you have something to work with there. I don't think that there's a problem. I mean, I don't know if I don't think you'll know how you react to something until you're placed in it. I don't know if I would want, I'm traditional in the sense that I would want to propose to the woman. But I don't know if I would. I don't know if I would say. Depends on the woman. I probably wouldn't say no. I mean, every guy would be taken aback by that. But it's just like, I don't know. So you said that the woman is the prize. Like, that fucked me up a little bit. Go ahead though.
Well, I just want to, I know that this is your podcast and you're the one asking the questions, but you said that if a woman asked you to marry her, you probably wouldn't say no, right?
Depends now. Hold up. It depends.
But I want to know, why would you even put a woman in a situation where she feels like she got to propose? And the reason I say put her in a situation is because I feel like when a woman get on her damn knee and propose, or she out here shopping for his ring, or something like that, I feel like that's because that woman is at her wit's end, and she just feels like he's not gonna ask. Look, Leo is not gonna ask me to marry him, so let me just go ahead and ask his ass, because he ain't being clear about his intention with me.
Okay, so there's two parts to it, right? You were talking about intentions. Again, now you were, I don't know, I ain't gonna say this for everybody. I ain't gonna say all men know if they're gonna marry a joint off the break. I think you know a good woman when you see her and you like, all right, I'm gonna be on my shit. I'm gonna lock that one down. Men know a good woman when they see one. Ain't no doubt about that. I've had this conversation with plenty of homeboys. You know a joint and you like, all right, I gotta be on my shit. Or somebody gonna fuck around and take your girl and you're gonna be looking stupid on a Saturday night. So you gotta think about that type shit. However, with a woman proposing, I'm not putting you in that situation. I didn't make you get down there on that knee and go shopping for my ring. I like you like you call it
You
a
sure?
situation because you put yourself in that shit. I didn't make you do that. I think men propose when they're ready. I am not opposed to a woman proposing in a sense because I like aggressive, feisty women. I like a woman who knows what the fuck she wants and will go after it, which is exactly why I kind of brought up the proposal thing because it reminds me of the pursuing part, right? I've had this conversation with people before. I don't believe in chasing a woman. I'm not about to chase you. If I'm no, but here's the thing. Peep this. If I'm chasing you, you're running away. If I'm pursuing you, then you're giving me some play. I can work with that. I'm worried about trying to get this bag and building my brand, stuff like that. I'm not about to fucking chase you. If you're running away, then you wasting my time. I ain't got time for it. I'm a lion, but a nigga, I'm a king at the same motherfucking time. Bring my plate to me. Like,
I'm with it. Okay. And I honestly feel like I agree with a lot of what you're saying. And I like how you said if I'm chasing you, you're running away. And that goes back to what I was saying about being careful with your words. See, I'm with you because a friend of mine once told me, see, I'm like I said, going back to me feeling like I'm the prize, there have been situations where I felt like a dude should chase me. And my friend said, stop making him chase you, okay? And she's like, he's obviously pursuing you. And I said, well, he ain't really pursuing me like that. She said, no, he's pursuing you, and there's a you in pursuit. She was like, your ass ain't giving him no play back. I was like, oh. She's like, baby, there's a you in pursuit. I said, damn.
that's clean.
That's
This
true.
is you in pursuit.
Yeah.
That is
There's a you in
clean.
pursuit. So, like, you know, you got to give a little to get a little. And like you said, if you're chasing them, they're running away. Like, at that point, they're not playing hard to get. They, like, the dude just playing hard to get rid of. He just ain't seeing the signs.
I will say this though. And shout out to your homegirl for that point, but anybody who can put something together like that on the spot, they toxic.
And she recently got married. So, obviously,
Oh
she know
shit.
what the hell she doing.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I take back my
Yeah.
toxic remark. I mean, I kind of stand by it, but hey.
And she didn't propose. Let me just put that out there. She
Oh,
wasn't
she
the
didn't
one to
propose?
propose. She got her ring.
Yo, okay. Yeah, she not about that life there. Get out of here, woman. Like, nah, she ain't about that, Shayla. Nah, you got to propose to your man, 2020.
No,
Come over and
we're
open my
not
door.
doing that.
Come over and open my door. Pump my gas. I'm playing,
Oh,
fellas. Don't
hell
take this
no.
shit seriously. I'm definitely joking. Like, let me not get choked out.
Right.
But
I know
no,
you joking. I know your mama, and I know she raised you so
she,
much better than that. So I know you playing.
yo, mom saw that, bro. Oh my god. Wouldn't be no podcast right now. I'm gonna tell you that much. So,
Right.
okay, obviously you're not down for a lot of the bullshit that these men do, right? And that's credit to you. And credit to the women that are not out here taking whatever. At the same time, fellas, we have to do better too. Because this is also, and I talked about this shit on here before too, this is the era of simping. It's a lot of guys out here paying for a lot of shit they should not be paying for, wasting their time on women that they should not be wasting their time on. If you validate other people how you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to validate yourself. You have to be happy with yourself. And I literally talked about this on here. Inner peace and self-sufficiency and things like that. And I'm curious about your perspective on soulmates and things of such nature. What do you feel about soulmates?
I think that soulmates and soul ties are real.
Ooh, talk about soul ties though. What you mean by that?
Like, soul ties are, you know, when you feel like you just, I can't even explain it. It's almost like that person got a hold on you. Like, that's your other half. That's your, you know, your other being. And like, no matter what, you just can't shake them. And it feels like y'all really supposed to be together. I think soulmates and soul ties are real.
I think that's toxic.
Now, I didn't say it wasn't toxic. It's real.
I said it wasn't toxic. No, I get what you're saying.
It's
Have
like
you
a
ever?
spiritual connection.
Ooh. Now, Catherine and I talked about this too. I gotta stop saying her name like that. Kay and I talked about this shit on the podcast too. That's one of the episodes coming out in this group. We were talking
Oh.
about pretty much the 5 points that connect soulmates. And I want to see what your perspective is on this. And these may not be the perfect 5 points or the absolute five. There's a guy named Torrey Roberts. He's a preacher. I forget at what church. It was on YouTube, right? So shout out to Torrey Roberts. And what he was saying is the 5 points that will help you identify your soulmate is chemistry, then connection, then divine confirmation. Right? You have to have a sense of
Mm-hmm.
wholeness, and what was the other one? Purpose. They have to also provide a sense of purpose. Basically, a soulmate is nothing but an extension of you. I always ask the person when I ask them this. I forgot to do this part, so I fucked up a little bit. But I always ask a person, "Are you happy with you? Could you date a person like you?" And I ask them if you believe in soulmates, because if you say no, how can you want your soulmate? And a soulmate is nothing but an extension of yourself. They aren't meant to complete you. They complement the character, the person that you are, and things like that. It only works when you guys are wholes. So, what do you feel about that aspect of it?
I feel that that is deep. I like it. So, I don't know. I love the definition. I think that that's true, and I, I honestly would say that I could date a person like me.
You have okay.
I would want to date a person like me.
Why do you feel like a lot of people wouldn't though? Do you feel like it's simply because they aren't whole or they aren't living their purpose? What do you feel like contributes to a person being like, nah, I couldn't date a person like me? Whether they if they believe in soulmates rather.
Well, I think that if somebody's like, okay, I can't date a person like me, then I would challenge them to evaluate themselves. What is it about you that you don't like?
Mm.
And why are you uncomfortable in your own skin? Um, and I think that if we're going by the definition of a soulmate, then if that person is supposed to be an extension of you and you don't want you, then by definition, you don't want a soulmate. You just want
That's
a
true.
companion or whatever. You don't want a soulmate. You want a buddy. You want a splackavelli. See, you might be too young to even know what a splacka do.
I think I
What
can
year
put
were
it
you
together.
born?
A little tenderoni. I know what she is. You said what year am I born?
Yeah. Yeah, what year were you born?
I'm a
Like 90
'95
something?
baby. I'm the last of the OG generation.
I'm gonna have to look on Google, but I think Splackavelli, the song, might have come out the year you were born. You're probably too young to know what a Splackavelli
Girl, you
is.
know I be knowing, but come on, man. I
Oh,
know I
okay.
know some stuff now. Come on, no, I ain't.
But yeah, I feel like by definition, then they don't want a soulmate.
That I feel like, yeah, I can't really refute that. You kind of caught me. I ain't gonna lie, you caught me lacking. So
But
with
I like that chemistry, connection, divine confirmation, wholeness, and
they
purpose.
should add a sense of purpose. I'm gonna explain all 5 points. They probably heard this already. It is what it is. Y'all gonna hear it again. Okay, so
Give it to. Hey, look, I might have missed that episode. Give it to us again.
right. So the first piece, chemistry. It doesn't take a genius to figure out what chemistry is. It's the connection that you have with somebody. It is not the connection aspect of what I'm talking about, though, right? Anybody can generate chemistry with anybody. Case in point, you said yourself when you went to KFC, you developed a friendship with said lady at the drive-thru. So much so that she remembered you coming through, right?
Right.
Chemistry. Simple, right? You
Right.
guys now have some aspect of a connection there. The connection part is deeper than the chemistry itself. Anyone can generate chemistry. Not everyone can generate a genuine connection. A reason why you're dealing with the person. How are they adding to your life? How are they taking away? What does that look like? Are y'all friends? Are y'all family? There's different connections based on different situations, right?
Right.
Now, this part a lot of people miss. Divine confirmation, right? A lot of us will put ourselves in situations that we put ourselves in, not God put us in those situations. And whether you're spiritual or not, whether you're a Christian, whatever the case may be, typically a lot of people who get married feel that there is a third being that, lead to a unity between the two people, right? So typically, like I said, we'll put ourselves in situations that aren't healthy for us. God is not going to put you in a situation that is not healthy to you. You might think it's God, it is not. That is lust. It's infatuation. That is something under the guise of something that is healthy when it is not, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then, wholeness. A lot of people will get with the person because, oh, I just want a girlfriend for now. I'm not happy. I'm alone. They'll get with you to fulfill a certain need that, again, it isn't healthy, right? So you'll look for someone to pretty much fill something that you need to fill. Essentially, what you need to do is you need to work on yourself, work on being happy, work on a sense of individuality. A lot of people, when they get with someone, it's looking to complete someone. It should be to complement, not complete. That's not healthy. It can't be 80
Amen.
20, 60 40. It has to be 50 50 all the way. But your
You're
50,
preaching tonight.
exactly, but your 50 should be 100%. My 50 should also be 100%. And that leads into the purpose part. Typically, the final piece, and again, this is not the perfect five, but this is a five that is reliable. It's something that, anybody can relate to, whatever the case may be. And that fifth piece, in that fifth piece, in finding your purpose, you have established yourself in life. You could be 20, you could be 30, you could be 40, you could be 50. There is no timetable on when you get to where you get. You can be self sufficient, you can be happy on your own. When you find your soulmate, again, they're an extension of you. They too will be complete. They will add to your life. There will be a balance. It's almost like the yin yang symbol. It's never too much black, never too much white, right? So you've got the dots
Right.
inside. They fill each other, but they work in bond. It's almost like a river, a flow to it. So you have to look at it like that. So that's the 5 points basically. So if y'all haven't heard it, that's a little different. To put a little twist on it, but it's the same situation.
Now you got me wanting to look up Toure Roberts. I'm familiar with him, but I haven't heard his 5 points. And so now I'm going to have to go and look on YouTube
Well,
and
I'm gonna send you the link.
dig into this. Please do, because that was deep. I got to give it up. I don't know if you can hear the hand claps in the back, but that was good.
Appreciate it. I do what I do out here. I mean, but he did a great job in explaining it. And it's crazy if you look at like all of your previous relationships. That's what I did. And I said, "Oh wow, there was no divine confirmation, even though we had great chemistry and a connection, and she seemed whole, I seemed whole to an extent. These two aspects were missing. That was lust. It wasn't this. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. So these
Right.
5 things can also help you identify flaws within yourself or your previous situations or situations, because a lot of people are in shitty things that they should not be in, right? Simply because of lust and whatever the case may be. So now that leads me to the next aspect of it. Typically, when you find a soulmate and you find a partner that you feel is compatible with you and you guys have a great situation, bringing them home to the parents. Have you ever brought somebody home that you just wish you'd never fucking brought them?
Um, no, and no, I haven't, because I'm a very like I'm not private. I'm not a private person, but I think that, you know, so first of all, I'm an only child, an only grandchild.
Mm-hmm.
So they really are wanting their grandbaby and their great grandbaby at this point. So I have to be very careful who I bring, because they're like, oh, is he the one? Like, it's like, are we going to get a wedding and a baby? So I'm not private, but I'm just very particular about like who I bring around my family, even who I bring around my friends. Like a lot of my friends and a lot of my girlfriends have never met some of the guys that I've dated, because I just feel like, let me make sure I like him first. Let me see if this is going somewhere. Because I have friends that take everybody that they meet and date or whatever around their family, and it's like, you know, or even me as a friend, like they'll bring people around, and I'm like, damn, I really liked Eric. What you did with him? You know, and then now Eric is gone. Now I gotta get used to Leonard, and then I gotta get used to Brandon, and it's like, damn, this is a revolving door. And, you know, I don't want to be that person. I want to introduce y'all to one dude, and hopefully y'all like him and he like y'all, and we'll be together forever. Y'all don't have to meet and try to remember all these different people.
What do you feel about that shit when people just keep bringing somebody to the crib and it's like, oh, I like them, and then you stop fucking with them, but you don't tell anybody? I've been in that situation so many times. How do you feel about that?
I feel like if you bring somebody around, so I'm nosy as hell. If you bring somebody around and then all of a sudden they stop coming around, like I want to know I want to know what happened. I want to know I need to know everything because depending on how much they were coming around, like shit, that was my relationship too. You know how like on Facebook when people want to post all the good stuff and then something bad happened and they don't want to talk about it, you just see like their ex wife or whatever disappear from the page. Like no, like tell me what happened to Christine. Like you know.
What happened to Christine?
What happened to Christine? What did you do to her? Like where's she at? You know? So I'm nosy as hell. I want to know.
So now I do want to get into this part of it because you said you're nosy. What do you feel about
I'm nosy.
going through your man's phone? What's up with that?
Oh wow. Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So this is how I feel about that. I feel like um what you're looking for you'll find. And I think wait, I think I said that wrong. What's the saying? It's like
You said it
something
right.
like did I?
To me, you did.
Okay, yeah, it's something like that. Like, you know, whatever you're looking for, you're gonna find. And I think that it's kind of like a double-edged sword, so to speak. It's like one, if they're doing some dirt, you're gonna find it because you're looking. And two, if they're not doing some dirt, you're gonna see something in their phone and you're gonna make some shit up because you're just delusional and now you've convinced yourself that something that you see is something that it may not actually be. So, have I gone through a boyfriend's phone before? Absolutely. Did I see some shit that hurt my feelings? Absolutely. Will I do it again? I haven't done it since, and I probably wouldn't do it again. And if you're wondering what I found on his phone, I found the Tinder app. And I did not know what Tinder, like, he had the little notifications come up on the iPhone, you know? And it was like, so-and-so sent you a message, and it had Tinder. And I'm like, wonder what the hell Tinder is. So I get off his phone, and I Google Tinder, and it said something like, #1 dating app. And I'm like, this nigga really getting messages on a dating app.
Yeah, no, there's no way out of that. I mean, some people might be like, "Oh, I was on there for networking." You was on there trying to get some cheeks, bro. Like, I'm not trying to be funny, but that's really what people say is for dating. It's really more like for hookups.
It's hooking up,
Yeah.
yes. And so, you know, I just wasn't. I was like, okay, just whatever. But to be honest with you, though, I didn't even mention it to him, and I didn't bring it up because if he had got in my text messages, he probably would have saw some stuff he didn't like too. So I just said, let me not. You have to choose your battles wisely. Ladies is pimps too.
Y'all
And
are.
yeah.
I low key want to adapt you because you low key played that clean. I didn't expect that. That was smooth. Now, the reason I also asked you that question was, and you took the bait and you went for it. You said the delusional part, right? I was watching something.
Right.
What's that show? It's got that really cute Asian girl, Jenny Mai. It's got the funny black girl on it. It's got the Mary sister too. Really cute girl.
Oh, the real?
Yeah, that shit. That right there.
Yeah.
Something went like viral from that shit, and it was just like when a man calls you crazy. And this is how fucking nuts these women were on this show, okay? They were saying it drives them crazy when a man calls them crazy. Then they followed that statement up after all these women clapped from them in the audience with all, I mean, if we're being honest, we all are a little bit crazy. But don't call me crazy. How fucking nuts is that?
I don't think that's nuts. So maybe I'm crazy.
So if a man calls you crazy, you gonna snap?
It depends on how he say it. If he be like, "Oh, Shayla, you so crazy," like that's different. If you give me the cute, you know, Martin, you so crazy, we're gonna let you fly. If you get to being like, "Bitch, you crazy," I'm like, okay, now see, it's different. It's different.
Why is that? That's almost like y'all calling, to me, that's the equivalent. The way y'all react is like a woman calling a man a bitch. Like, why is that? Like, why is that the equivalent? Why what triggers for you guys? Is it because y'all know y'all are a little bit psychotic? Is that part of it?
Um, yeah, it's a little bit of, yeah, I know I'm crazy, but how dare you say that to me? You know how people that stay turning up a bottle get offended if you have the audacity to call them an alcoholic. It's kind of the same thing.
Okay, that is a
Yeah.
wow, that is an excellent way to explain it. So you do accept the fact that a lot of you guys are fucking nuts, though.
Yeah, usually when y'all call us crazy, we for real.
No, I was
Yeah.
very curious about that because the girls were like, even though they were like, they don't like to be called that shit, we kind of understand it. But if you call us that, I'm gonna give you the reason to think I'm crazy. I just thought that that was fucking like, it was funny to me, but it was also kind of concerning. Like, so,
Yeah.
so we covered
I
a
see where
lot.
they're coming from.
Yeah, so we covered a lot. And one of the last few things I want to get into is the era of men, right? Again, I talked about it before. I don't feel like a lot of men are being men. What is something that if a man does this, disqualifies him from getting some?
Um,
You do this,
let's
we're not
see.
even going on a date no more.
If a man does this, we aren't going on a date anymore.
Date anymore, sexually involved. We aren't, we done. You did too much type shit.
Oh, see, I don't want to be that chick that has so many like deal breakers, but I think um I think that if a guy comes um okay, so yeah, so let me just go through the night. This will help me. Okay, so number one, if a guy comes to pick me up and he blows and doesn't get out the car and come to the door and ring my doorbell, get me, that's a deal breaker. You
Okay.
need to pull up, you need to get out of the car, whatever. Okay. I think that if we're going somewhere and he's not dressed appropriately, that's a deal breaker. If we're going to a nice upscale dinner and you just look like if you're not dressed for the occasion, that's probably a deal breaker.
Okay.
If we get there and you don't pay for the meal, that's a deal breaker. I know people don't like to talk about it, but fellas, y'all need to be paying for the meals, okay? Especially if you did the inviting and you asked her out, like,
Facts.
yeah, do not ask me to go Dutch. That's a deal breaker.
No half and halves, huh?
And if you drop me off and you think that you're coming inside and I didn't give you like a very clear invitation to come inside,
Yeah.
then that's a deal breaker. Like if you just pull back up and like, cut the car off and get out and like you standing at the door. Like it's a difference between walking me to my door and walking with me to my door. Because I'm gonna turn around and be like, "Where the hell you thought you was going?" Yeah. So like if I'm just dealing with the first date, those are a couple of things throughout the night where you might fail a test and we may not go on a second date.
I get surprised when I hear these things from women, and I'm a very clean person, so when you guys don't immediately go to like hygiene or like that's you know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, I could get in your car if the shit's stinky. Like that's cool. Like okay.
Okay, I mean, well, if we got enough time to talk about it and we want to get, specific, yeah, if you come and pick me up and, like, your car is a hoopty, and, and not hoopty, I mean, like, okay, so, also, I'm sure a lot of your friends or people around the same age listen to the podcast, so I just want people to know that I'm a little more older, I'm a little more seasoned than Jamil. So as a 30-something-year-old woman, my standards are going to be a lot different than like your 23 or 24-year-old. So let's just keep that in mind. But yeah, like if you come and I'm not saying like you got an old car. I don't mind your car being old. I done rode in a couple of old schools. But I want you to clean it up, even if it's the simple things like don't have like trash and stuff in the interior. I need you to look like you were wanting or expecting to take a nice lady out.
Preparation.
Yeah, preparation. Like, you don't just get your ass out there on the field and and play the game. Like,
Some of these
you
niggas do.
and them the ones that get out there to get their ass hurt. They the ones that get out there and don't win. They the ones that get out there and just make a fool of themselves. Like, but the ones who study the rule book, the one who watch the highlight reels, and the ones who go to practice, the ones that's shooting in the gym,
Mm-hmm.
they the ones that do good. It's all about the preparation. Bathe, take a bath before you come and get me. Since you want to talk about hygiene, Jimmy, you'll take a bath. Brush your teeth, use some mouthwash, have some chewing gum, have some nip.
Some chewing gum. You so southern. I love it. I love it. Yes. So
205, Bama all day.
So the last part of this that I definitely wanted to address is women with a purpose. I'm very curious about your perspective because we talked about men and like preparation, but I also want to address how you feel women can add value to a man's life. And also how you feel about women who do OnlyFans and things like that, because you do a real type of hustle. So I'm curious about how a real hustler feels about people, because I don't see. I mean, get your money. I have no problem with it. You ain't my girl. I ain't tripping. Do what you do. I ain't finna pay for that shit neither. But I'm just curious about your perspective on the modern day woman saying OnlyFans is the hustle and shit like that, and stuff like yeah.
So I think that as far as women and purpose, I think that women can bring value to a man's life by simply being supportive. I think, especially with our black men, the climate that we're in right now. Wait, first of all, did you notice how I changed up my tone and I got like real serious with it?
You did, and I can appreciate that.
Okay.
Got dead ass.
I noticed it in myself. I was like, wait, you just totally switched up the tempo. But yeah, so I think that the climate that we're in right now, especially like with so much police brutality and racism and stuff that we as black people face, our black men especially have it hard. They have it the hardest than anyone else right now. And so I think that women can bring value to a man's life by simply being supportive of him, supporting his dreams. If that man want to be an entrepreneur and he want to wash cars, tell him, hey, baby, I bought you some rags and some raw.
I'm sorry.
I know that you want to be a car wash man, or whatever. Be a listening ear. Try not to be argumentative. Get your point across. Be a listener. Actually, hear what he says and stuff, and be like a safe haven to him. And I think just, be supportive of them and stuff like that. And then as far as the hustle goes, I think that sex is one of the oldest hustles there is. I mean, prostitution or whatever, pimping can be traced back for ages,
Seriously.
And I think that whatever floats your boat, you do what you do, whatever you got to do to live your lifestyle or feed your family or, take care of yourself, then by all means, if that's what you want to do, make your money. I'm not here to judge. But yeah, do what you do.
I dig it. Man, this was actually fun. I'm so glad we finally got you on here. We got to cover a lot. I definitely think it gave a little bit of insight into kind of the mind of a businesswoman and things like that, and a woman on her purpose, and just a dope person in general. So, shout out to you for doing your thing.
Thank you.
By the way, you did a fucking amazing job on my sister's baby shower the other day. You killed that. That was amazing.
Thank you. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. We had so much fun.
We enjoyed what we got to see because our internet was trash over here.
Look, y'all were making it work, so it was all good. But I'm just so grateful that she gave me the opportunity to do it. And I'm very grateful that you gave me the opportunity to be on your podcast. I had so much fun. It's always fun to do podcasts where I can just kind of talk about real life shit and not business stuff like all the time. So thank
Absolutely.
you.
Thank you for coming on. Like I said, it was fun. I having a good time doing it. I'm really pushing to get the most out of this thing. So I absolutely, thank you for like even just the early advice that you gave me early on with just like making the content shorter to get the most out of it and things like that. The little tips and tricks that you gave me. Thank you for investing in it with your time and your energy. I really really appreciate that. Like, yeah, I'm super excited for this to
Oh,
come out and so much more. So thank you, seriously.
you're welcome, and thank you.
For sure. Now, one more time, why don't you give a quick shout out to your social media, maybe your Instagram or whatever you want to put out real quick, and we're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah, so check me out on Instagram. I'm at TheShayla.Nicole. It's spelled just like it sounds. TheShayla.Nicole. And Shayla Nicole on Facebook. And you can check out, Jamil talked about some of my businesses. So check out my media company. It is 66media.com. That's the number 6, TYSIXMEDIA.com. And of course, you can shop the Shayla Nicole collection for all my ladies who want lip products that don't compromise your health or beauty. Check us out, TheShayla.Nicole.collection.com.
Wow, you really out here moving, man. That's hustle. That's what I'm talking about. So you guys know where to follow me at. I'll be putting up more content. I hope you enjoy this 25. This is a very special one for me. This is actually one of my birthday wishes. So thank you very much. I know a lot of people be like, why are you going to work on your birthday? Because I fucking love what I do. So thank you for coming on. Follow me on Instagram at I'm putting out my shit wrong. O.S_AEKO. OS Echo on the gram, man. Love you guys so much. This is the Uncut Podcast. We are out. Peace.
Every time I need that shit, devil make
them
another.
play toys up, little boys, take your time. It was designed for me to intertwine and reconstruct what's on your mind. It ain't no OG living that a raise up your kind. All this bullshit rapping you listen to don't make a nigga go blind. Hey, listen. Hey, this in my soul, feel it pouring out like a rubber bank. Lavish thoughts dropping like shells from a silver tank. Clout chaser domination showing us real is real. They don't care. Put some water in there, electric chair. Let them fry. Smoke the pink dowd, they never dread.